Picture a column of heavy armored vehicles rolling forward, each one weighing 40 tons, each one built to be unstoppable. The ground shaking under every turn of their tracks, dust rising behind them like smoke. And somewhere in the rubble at the side of the road, a single defender, completely still, waiting. One shot, one system, one result. The column never reached its objective. If you're watching this for the first time, welcome. Hit that like button, share this with someone who loves real military history, and subscribe so you never miss a story like this. Now let's get back to it. You've seen the footage. Most people have. The legendary clip of a massive formation rolling toward Kiev, halted before it ever reached the city limits. Or the images from Mariupol, where armored platforms were pressing Ukrainian defensive positions relentlessly until one shot fired through a window changed the direction of that entire engagement. What most people watching that footage never realized is what the defender was actually holding. 3 Swedish-engineered precision combat systems, the NLAW, the AT4, and the Carl Gustaf, have quietly become some of the most consequential defense tools in this entire conflict. In the early weeks of the invasion, these systems helped neutralize an estimated half of the opposing side's armored vehicles. Not through overwhelming numbers, not through air support or heavy artillery, through a single defender, a handheld system, and execution at the exact right moment. But what happened next changed everything. Let's go to Chasiv Yar. Before the advance even began, Russian forces spent considerable time preparing the ground, softening the city with BM-21 multiple launch rocket systems. The building shook, the streets empty. The smoke hadn't even cleared when the armored column moved. A lead tank at the front, multiple Tiger infantry mobility vehicles spaced behind it, maintaining tactical gaps exactly as doctrine requires. Their mission, push through the city, deliver infantry to a designated drop-off sector, and hold the road open for the next wave. On paper, it was a sound plan. Disciplined spacing, clear objectives. The kind of advance that, with proper execution, should have succeeded. They had no idea what was waiting on the other side.
Start it. Yeah, hold it. All right. Close now. Fuck.
Ukrainian defenders had not simply been watching this column form up. They had been tracking it. They knew the route. They knew the vehicle spacing. They knew the timing. Positioned in concealed locations throughout the approach zone, they waited calm, controlled, letting the vehicles close the distance and commit to the lane. The lead vehicle struck a ground pressure device and stopped. One Tiger failed to make the turn toward the drop-off point, but the others kept moving. Because that's the psychology of an armored column. It feels unstoppable as long as it keeps moving forward. That feeling was about to end. The moment the first armored carrier crossed into effective engagement range, the defenders moved. The first round from a Swedish grenade system landed just off target. The vehicle paused. Just a fraction of a second. A hesitation in the movement. That hesitation was the only opening needed. An AT4 launched. It didn't hit the reinforced front panels. It didn't strike the angled side armor. It struck the roof, the thinnest surface. the most vulnerable point on any armored platform on Earth. And at that exact point, the engagement ended for that vehicle before the crew inside even registered what had happened. And then silence broke. A second carrier pushed forward, slipping toward the drop-off point. A defender raised an NLAW and tracked the moving vehicle. 3 seconds, lock, launch, direct impact. The carrier stopped in place. A third activated smoke, screening a standard countermeasure designed to break line of sight and give the crew a window to reposition. The smoke poured into the air. An AT4 round flew straight through it. The armor held this time, but the crew abandoned the vehicle. They left their infantry on foot in the street and tried to reach cover in a nearby structure. The Ukrainians engaged the structure with everything available. The group inside realized quickly that staying meant being overcome. They broke toward the tree line, moving fast. A reconnaissance aerial system tracked their movement through the canopy. The escaping carrier, clearly damaged shrapnel, had torn into the engine compartment, crawled forward, decelerating with every meter, and finally stopped. The advance was broken, not by aircraft, not by long-range artillery, by defenders with handheld systems, terrain awareness, and patience. No one predicted what came next. Move north now to Petropavlivka, in the Kharkiv region. Low light, quiet streets. A small defensive team was establishing a position. Distant artillery rumbled in the background, constant, but familiar enough to ignore. The team worked without rushing, without noise. One member knocked down a section of fence to clear a line of sight. Another picked up an NLAW and ran through its readiness sequence, not from anxiety, but from discipline. Check the site, check the system, check again. Because when the moment comes, there is no second chance to verify. The air was cold. The light was flat and gray. And then movement appeared on the horizon. A Russian armored personnel carrier, emerging from the tree line to the north, advancing at a steady pace. No hesitation, no slowing down, coming straight toward the position. This was the moment everything shifted. The defender raised the NLAW, tracked the moving vehicle through the sight. 3 seconds, maybe 4. The system acquired the target, that specific electromagnetic and geometric signature that tells the system, this is real, this is valid, this is the moment. The trigger was pressed. The round crossed the open ground. Direct impact. The APC stopped less than 20 meters from the defensive line. The threat was neutralized before it reached the position. The team, a mix of international volunteers and trained Ukrainian defenders, responded with something raw and unfiltered. The kind of reaction that you cannot rehearse or perform. Pure, genuine relief and disbelief in the same breath. But here's what most people watching that footage never understood. The NLAW doesn't work the way people expect anti-armor systems to work. When launched, the round does not fly in a straight line toward the side or front of the target. It climbs slightly, traveling approximately 1 meter above the top surface of the vehicle. As it passes over the target, 2 independent sensor systems activate simultaneously. A magnetic field detector registers the dense mass of metal directly below. A laser rangefinder detects the sharp reduction in distance as the vehicle's roof surface appears beneath the round's path. When both sensors confirm at the same instant that the system is positioned directly above a valid armored target, it detonates. Down, through the roof, through the thinnest, least reinforced surface on any armored vehicle in operation, into the interior where the crew and systems that keep that vehicle functioning are located. This is not style filming, this is the entire. And it is why a system that fits the one-person experience can stop a vehicle that goes to the top. But the story doesn't end. The AT4 it opened a category of tactical possibility that previously did not exist. Standard anti-armor systems produce active incoming fire. The primary mounted combat system runs out of ammunition. The vehicle is suddenly without suppressive capability. In a matter of seconds, the tactical situation shifts from controlled to critically exposed. The defender reaches for an AT4, rises above the armor, fires. One round buys 30 seconds of suppression, enough for the main system to be reloaded and brought back online. Then a second AT4 deployed immediately after, without pause, without breaking movement. 2 launches under 60 seconds from a moving platform in active contact. The crew survived because of those 30 seconds. Because one system, carried by one operator, bridged the gap between vulnerability and survival. And then the Carl Gustaf, a reusable multi-role system with a round capable of engaging the T-90 main battle tank. A platform that was specifically engineered and publicly promoted as impenetrable to conventional ground-based anti-armor tools. Composite armor, active protection systems layered across its surface, a reputation built across decades of Cold War development. One round from a Swedish, Carl Gustaf, left that tank to the side of the Ukrainian road. But these 3 systems demonstrated across hundreds of documented engagements in urban blocks and open fields in 4 types of switching. Proof of every The column is not unstoppable. The tank is not invincible. And a single defender with the right system, the right position, the discipline, waits.